Hey everyone. If you're a parent or an educator today, it can feel, well, completely overwhelming, right? There's just so much advice out there. So today, we're going to cut through some of that noise and break down the really powerful philosophy behind Qtoys. It's all about simplifying things and focusing on what it takes to build a whole child for the world we live in now.
But before we can build that whole child, we've got to get real about the unique challenges we're all facing. It's a different world than the one we grew up in, for sure.
And this is the question that I think keeps a lot of us up at night, doesn't it? We're seeing things like rising mental health issues in kids, and at the very same time, there's this intense pressure to make sure they have the right skills for a future that's all about AI and automation. Are we even aiming at the right target anymore?
This quote from the World Economic Forum just hits the nail on the head. It's telling us that the skills that are going to matter most aren't just about what you can memorize, your IQ. It's about how you think, how you bounce back from failure, how you connect with other people, your emotional intelligence, your EQ. That's becoming the real key to success. Okay, so if these human-centric skills are the goal, how in the world do we build them from the ground up? Well, this brings us to a really elegant framework at the core of the Qtoys philosophy. It's a simple, but I think profound way to look at how kids develop.
It's called the MESH framework, and it suggests we focus on 4 interconnected pillars: mental, emotional, social, and health. Here's a good way to think about it. Imagine you're building a house. We often rush to the fancy stuff, like putting on the roof, the academic skills, like reading and math. But you can't build a strong roof without a solid foundation. Mesh is that foundation. Now, this isn't just a nice, feel-good idea. It's actually rooted in some pretty solid neuroscience. So let's take a look at the science and see how our brains actually learn. So here's the most crucial piece of the puzzle. Our brains develop hierarchically. They build from the bottom up. Neuroscientists like Dr. Bruce Perry have shown time and time again that the more primitive, foundational parts of our brain have to be strong and stable before the more complex, thinking parts can really work properly. And this whole process is often boiled down to 3 simple steps: regulate, relate, and then reason, in that exact order. First, a child's body needs to be regulated. They need to feel calm and physically safe. Second, they need to relate, to feel emotionally connected and secure with the people around them. And only then, once those 2 fundamental needs are met, can they actually reason and engage in that higher level learning. It's why you literally can't reason with a child who's in the middle of a tantrum. Their thinking brain is offline. The first job is always to help them feel safe and calm again.
And this is where it all just clicks into place so beautifully. This table shows how perfectly that mesh framework we talked about maps onto the brain science. That regulate state, which is all about a calm body, lines up directly with the health pillar of mesh. Think movement, sensory play. Then the relate state, that feeling of safety and connection, that's nurtured by the emotional and social pillars. And finally, the reason state, our ability to think and problem solve, that's the mental pillar. You see, you can't get to the top without building up from the bottom.
Okay, so understanding this foundation really helps us make sense of one of the biggest dilemmas parents often face: choosing an educational philosophy. It can feel like you're being asked to pick a side in this huge, long-standing debate. So on one side, you have Montessori, with its focus on reality, order, and these very specific self-correcting materials. And on the other side, you have Steiner, or Waldorf, which really champions imagination, sensory experiences, and simple, open-ended toys. It's often presented as this black and white choice between structure and fantasy. But what if you didn't have to choose? This is really the heart of the Qtoys philosophy. It's not about picking a team, it's about building a bridge between them, taking the very best of both of these incredible worlds to support that whole child, MESH development we've been talking about. So what does this bridge actually look like in practice? Okay, this is a perfect example. Take a look at these tree blocks. They have that wonderful, natural, irregular Steiner feel, right? They engage the senses. But they're also precision cut, which means they're stable and you can build complex structures with them. That brings in the engineering and spatial reasoning you'd normally associate with a Montessori or a STEM approach. It's both. Here's another one. This is clearly a structured Montessori-style tool for learning numbers, but look at the material. It's made from this beautiful wood with a natural, warm finish. So it's taking an abstract concept, like math, and grounding it in a physical, sensory experience, which is a core idea in the Steiner philosophy. See the bridge? And by the way, this choice of material, it matters way more than you might think.
A huge study found that electronic toys, the ones that beep and flash and do all the work for you, they actually decrease the amount and the quality of language shared between parents and babies. Simple wooden toys, on the other hand, they kind of force the child and the parent to create the sounds, the stories, the dialogue themselves. And that is a huge driver for language development.
So let's pull all these threads together. The whole point is to understand how we can create an environment where play is not only fun and joyful, but also deeply, purposefully developmental.
This whole approach lines up perfectly with what academics call guided play. Now, this isn't direct instruction where the adult is just telling the kid what to do. And it's not a total free-for-all either. It's this beautiful middle ground where adults thoughtfully create the environment, but the child is the one who leads the discovery within it. And the research shows this is an incredibly powerful way for kids to learn.
And that really brings us to the ultimate takeaway here. The modern dilemma we all feel of choosing between academic rigor and protecting the magic of childhood, it's a false choice. You don't have to pick. By using materials that awaken the senses to build tools that sharpen the mind, you can absolutely have both. Rigor and wonder can and should live right alongside each other.
So I'll leave you with this final question to think about. In a world that is rushing headfirst towards digital everything, how might we reevaluate the role of something like a humble wooden block? Maybe we shouldn't see it as a relic of the past, but as one of the most sophisticated tools we have for building the resilient, creative, and emotionally intelligent minds of the future.